Hello, BookTube. I am here again with what I am afraid is yet another book haul video, and so let's get started. I have two fiction books that I recently picked up, and four nonfiction books. And I guess I'd like to preface this all by saying I used to read a lot more nonfiction, particularly histories and biographies, and I think certainly in the last year or two, I read, that kind of flipped. I read a lot more fiction, and my history reading has really kind of fallen off the cliff. This year, it's been about half and half, and but I am starting to feel more of a like the nonfiction books are calling to me again, and so I'm kind of getting back into the thrill almost of picking up these big histories and trying to tackle them, and just kind of enthused about learning some more about different events and different people. So just with that as background, I've got two fiction books here, and one of them is used. It's this one, Caleb Carr's Surrender, New York. Caleb Carr is the author. The book he's probably most well known for is The Alienist, which was turned into a TNT miniseries on the network TNT a few years ago. It is The Alienist is a historical fiction that is set in very late 1800s New York City. It involves a man with the last name of Kertzer, who is what we would today call, like a criminal profiler slash, kind of forensic scientist slash psychologist, and it's a real fascinating book as this man and his associates kind of hunt a serial killer in 1890s New York City. It's a book that, like a lot of good historical fiction, it weaves in actual real characters like Teddy Roosevelt and some of the muckrakers of that era. And it was so convincing of a story. I actually had, even though I think I understood that it was fiction, I had to look up the fictional character's name and Teddy Roosevelt and the crime, and just to make sure that I wasn't, was this sort of loosely based on a real story? Did Teddy Roosevelt know this person? No, nothing like that. Completely made up. But just very riveting reading. And Caleb Carr wrote another book similar to it, based on the same set of characters, that I don't know if it came before The Alienist or came afterward. I think it was called Angel of Darkness, and that was also made into a mini series and broadcast on the network TNT. I think after those books came out was when Surrender, New York was released, and I didn't get the book. Looks like it originally came out in 2016. I didn't get the book when it first came out, but I thought of getting it, and I've had it on and off my list for a while. But it's a book that I have never seen in the wild, as Steve Donahue would say. not in any used bookstores, not at Barnes and Noble or anywhere. And so I got this for a pretty cheap price used from Amazon, and I've read a little bit into it, but I'm probably going to set it aside for now so that I can take up these other books that I bought. The second work of fiction I have is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I am reading this as part of Randy Ray at the Literate Texan has created a very well read book channel, and this is he will be doing we'll be reading one book a month, kind of some of the major works of fiction from the canon, and The Hobbit is the reading for April. It's just starting, so I encourage anyone who is interested to head on over to Randy Ray's YouTube channel and find out about how to become a part of this reading book club. It is a part of Randy Ray's new Patreon station, so there is a small monthly fee, but I think it will be much more than will be worth it, every penny to kind of read these books and talk about them. And this book in particular is interesting in that I am 59 years old, and before this week I had read exactly 0 words of J.R.R. Tolkien, if you can believe that. Have never, not read Lord of the Rings or even seen the movie. Not seen the movie for The Hobbit or anything. I'm coming into J.R.R. Tolkien virtually just completely brand new, without any inclinations or expectations. I'm not normally a fantasy reader, but I think like many of the books and authors that are on Randy Ray's list of books for the year, I think Tolkien is an author that transcends kind of any real category. And so I'm up to about page 85 in this book, and I think as far as fantasy books go, this is pretty easy to read. It's a little weird, but not super weird. I think it was probably might have even originally been written for children or young people, but again, I think I think a lot of his works just sort of transcend any age target or category. So looking forward to finishing this up and hearing more about it through the book club. Okay, so that wraps up my fiction pickups. This next book is by far the shortest of the 4 nonfiction. It is Salvation on Sand Mountain by Dennis Covington. And this is, apparently the 15th anniversary edition, so not a brand new book. The subtitle is Snake Handling and Redemption in Southern Appalachia. It's let's see, from the back cover it says, for Dennis Covington, what began as a journalistic assignment covering the trial of an Alabama preacher convicted of attempting to murder his wife with poisonous snakes would evolve into a headlong plunge into a bizarre, mysterious, and ultimately irresistible world of unshakable faith, the world of holiness snake handling, where people drink strychnine, speak in tongues, lay hands on the sick, and some claim raise the dead. Set in the heart of Appalachia, Salvation on Sand Mountain is Covington's unsurpassed and chillingly captivating exploration of the nature, power, and extremity of faith. An exploration that gradually turns inward until Covington finds himself taking up the snakes. So this kind of book that explores American Christianity, American fundamentalism, is pretty much right up my alley. I come from that background, and I'm still in that world to a certain degree. No snake handling, no speaking in tongues, but this book is. I'm very much looking forward to read it. The interesting thing is, I don't. It's a bit of a mystery to me how I came to know of this book. Many of my book recommendations now come from BookTube, and so it's likely that I saw someone talking about this book on BookTube, or I read about it through some other means, but this book I hadn't heard of until very recently, and it just seemed really fascinating. So again, not sure how I became aware of this book, but once I did, I just thought I think this is something I would probably pick up pretty quickly, and I don't suspect it'll take me too long to read. Now turning to some of the larger works of history, nonfiction. Here we have The Pope at War by David I. Kertzer. It's the winner of the Pulitzer Prize. The subtitle is The Secret History of Pius XII, Mussolini, and Hitler. So this is about the actions primarily of Pope Pius XII in relation to the fascist powers in World War II. There are a couple of books that deal with this subject. I think probably most famously is the book called Hitler's Pope. And then in reaction to that book, there is The Myth of Hitler's Pope. But this book is neither of those. It is The Pope at War. I picked this book up because other than it being interested in the topic, and I haven't read the other two books on this subject, but I saw this book on a Steve Donahue book haul video with David Murphy, and I think the video itself might go back a year or more. But I saw one of them, probably David Murphy, who bought this, and thought that this would be a enjoyable read for me, and it is. I only got it barely a week ago, and I am maybe not quite halfway through it, but have read the first 200 pages. I think it's about, the text is a little under 500 pages, so not quite halfway through the book, but it's pretty fast-paced, if I can speak correctly today. Very fast-paced, relatively short chapters, just an easy book to rattle off 30, 40, 50, 60 pages, just without thinking too much. But I think it is factual enough and informative enough that, there's some substance here. I have never read anything by this author before, and I think, given the fact that I really like this book so far, I will likely read or at least look into picking up some other books by this author. So that was The Pope at War. Very shortly thereafter, I picked up The Rising Sun by John Toland. The Decline and Fall of the Japanese Empire, 1936 to 1945. This was also the winner of the Pulitzer Prize and a national bestseller. This had been on my list a few years ago, and I, had taken it off my list and sort of cleaned out my wish list, and hadn't really thought of coming back to it. But again, having seen one of Steve Donahue's book haul videos and videos on, I think Steve had bought the paperback version, or had the paperback version of Hitler, Adolf Hitler, a biography of Hitler, by this author, John Toland. And that sort of put the name John Toland back on my radar. And I was just in Barnes & Noble, I guess it was last week, or maybe it was even Sunday, and I happened upon this book again, and just didn't think I wanted to leave the store without picking it up. I have a real, I think I've in the past I've been really drawn to kind of these big histories, these sort of epic or epoch spanning books, or books that look at significant parts of a civilization in and around World War II. Kind of adds a bit of the draw to it. I know very little about Japan, and so I'm looking forward to reading this. Although I have to admit that I think this is probably going to be a challenging read for me. It's on the borders of 900 pages of actual text, and I think it's the type of book that I have always been drawn to, but have not always found very easy to read. And but I am going to take a shot at it. And as like I said, I think my sort of history, my interest in reading history is sort of picking up again. And I really hope to be able to put the effort and the attention into reading this. I think the story of the big story of World War II is just fascinating on so many different levels, and I think particularly for the different becoming more aware of the different populations and their leaders that led people into war, and why they fought the war, and what drove these people and civilizations, and what they were after, and just what they were like. And so I hope to learn a good bit about the Japanese during World War II, and hope to find it an entertaining read as well. Oops, sorry, bumped my tripod here. The last one I have here, I just picked up. Might have been earlier this week, I got this one. I just got this one from Amazon. This is one of the books that came today. I was in Barnes & Noble last week, and I had seen this book, and sometimes largely depending on the price, and perhaps if the book is damaged at all or anything, I may buy the book on Amazon, or I will just buy it in Barnes & Noble. So I think because I got a pretty good deal on this from Amazon, I elected to buy it on Amazon. And this is Blood and Ruins The Last Imperial War, 1931 to 1945, by Richard Overy. This is another pretty big, thick book, also about 900 pages long. It looks like there's some pretty long chapters here, which do appear to be, broken up into sections. So I think that will make it a little bit easier to read. But again, this is, I think, a book I might have had on my wish list at one point and then took off. Again, I just saw it in Barnes & Noble, and it, again, was just a type of book that, spans a couple decades, captures really all of World War II, particularly its earlier, its earlier rumblings and the things that ultimately led to the breakout of war across the globe. And like The Rising Sun, I know this is going to be a more challenging book to read than what I've been reading for the last couple of years, but I look forward to having some nice, warm, sunny days where I can sit out on the porch and put myself to it. But just the subject matter just seems irresistible. So that's it. So I have a ton of reading ahead of me for the next couple of months, and so I look forward to finishing the Pope at War pretty soon, and finishing the Hobbit probably in the next week or two, and hopefully I will think enough of these books and have the energy and interest and coming back and doing at least a semi-book review and talking about these books and how I liked them and what I learned and my experience of them. But okay, well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, for stopping by. Please let me know in the comments if you have read any new books or if you have bought any new books. I love to hear about book hauls and new book buys, whether you got them from used bookstores or from Barnes & Noble or Amazon or wherever you got them. And I love hearing if there have been some shifts in your reading, if there are new areas of interest that you are wanting to explore, and if there's anything that has prompted you to look at new genres of books or go back to book genres that you used to read, anything like that. I'd love to hear back in the comments on that. But for now, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you and talk to you again sometime soon. Thanks, BookTube. Bye-bye.